DC's turn to ban.
Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome back again to the International 2017 Stream B. Taking a look at game number 2 now. It's OG versus DC. I'm Lyrical, joined as well by the wonderful Blitz Dota. We just had a pretty cool match where Forev went completely ham on a Batrider. Was able to steal away a bunch of kills, and from there, Mason on a big bad Sven, and of course Abed playing a tremendous Quap. Blitz, in your estimation, do you think that it's worthy right now, like OG taking out that silencer? Was that really the catalyst for everything else that came afterwards?
They obviously feel that way because they banned it.
Yeah.
And it is the combination. Like Batrider plus the silencer. We saw it in the EG game.
10 seconds remaining.
I'm not saying that... I mean, EG, TNC, they're pretty close teams, but they felt really comfortable with that combination. But OG going to take the Earthshaker, which, in my opinion, having played numerous pubs, this is such a good hero. Like, Earthshaker's just, he's obscene. The amount of things that he does, his 3 different stuns, he blows you up. It's not fun to play against Gabe.
No, he gets farm on him and he kills anybody.
Oh, this is a Batrider again, though. Because Batrider's good against Earthshaker. It always bounces back.
So talk to me about it. What's the big reason Batrider's good against Earthshaker? Is it just breaking blinks?
It's not just that. It's the... Okay, so first, it's like an initiation on initiation game, right? Like, both heroes are ones that want to start the initial jump. But Batrider has the advantage because he has Firefly.
Okay.
So he can always see, you know, relatively what he's walking into. Of course, it kind of goes both ways. It's a matchup that sort of goes both ways in the sense that, like, Earthshaker can always fissure if he sees a Batrider try to... But it's annoying. Because also, at the same time, like, if you're... Imagine trying to turn around and, you know, you want to hit people or you want to try to turn to get a better angle at fissure and you're just getting sticky napalmed.
10 seconds
God,
remaining.
sticky napalm sucks.
I can understand what you're talking about there, and it feels like you're talking about like the dynamic of Vision versus Vision. It feels like it's the team that prioritizes that more heavily with the other heroes might also help. But it's also going to be OG taking the Faceless Void to pair together with the Earthshaker. Seeing Batrider Puck taken this early on, is that surprising? You all seeing 2 cores taken in the first phase, or is that still kind of okay?
It's flexible still. Like,
10 seconds
we might have been the only team that did it. We saying Planet Odd that did Batrider 4 position.
5 seconds remaining.
You remember Misery did it quite a bit to pretty good success, I'd say.
Okay, all right.
I think we were like 2 and 3 with it. That's pretty good, right?
I mean, 66%. That's above average, right?
So you say pretty good. It's like you don't say good, because good is like a B.
Yeah,
that's like an 80. A pretty good is like that's like.
I mean, 66 is a D, right? So.
Yeah, but maybe I was like a D, like I was an F student.
All right.
All Dota players are F students, so D's pretty good.
I can dig it. All right, so your Batrider position 4, you think that's good?
Pretty good. I really need to make that distinction clear. Like, you don't put words in my mouth.
All right, I'm with you.
Pretty good. And Puck can play offlane, but it's most likely going to be a Puck mid and a bad offlane.
I like what you're saying there, though, because it's like if something goes disastrously wrong in the rest of this draft, at the very least, they have something to fall back upon.
Remaining.
Yeah. And imagine this, like, they completely counterpick these 2 heroes.
Remaining.
Then you have the option, if you absolutely need to, you can put this Puck offlane. You can put this Batrider as a 4.
Okay. Well, for now, at least, it was, like we said, the Faceless Void Earthshaker. To me, this just feels like we are going to team fight. We are going to control you. And to pick Puck into that, a little bit bold, a little bit cool. I guess that it was the Void as the last, so it wasn't quite into it. But is that something to be concerned at all for the Puck?
5 seconds
It's more annoying for the Batrider.
Really? Okay.
Because time dilation.
Right.
Time dilation wrecks you. It's the one thing that makes... that trumps sticky napalm. Like, in terms of annoying abilities, there's a tier rating right now in my head. It's like Arcane Curse, sticky napalm, time dilation. Because time dilation and Arcane, you don't want to cast abilities, which is super counterintuitive to Dota.
Yeah. So I guess where does Mana Leak fit on that scale, and are we going to see it?
Mana Leak is not... It's not as high.
Okay, all right.
Because the other ones are just... Because it doesn't come into play until later on.
Right.
Whereas Arcane Curse, Time Dilation, Sticky's always there.
DC going back for the Sand King yet again. the Bulba hero. They already had the Clockwork Band. I guess that's just sort of the secondary one that they want to run it on. And this was a hero that really blew up and was all over the place,
10
and then sort of
seconds remaining.
after the nerf to Caustic, wasn't seen as much in the offlane role.
5 seconds
how
remaining.
viable do you think this is? How much do you like the Sand King and 4 role?
I think it's excellent because it does the same thing that Cuddle does in the sense that he's one of the offlane, or he's one of the support players that can shove, jungle. Like, he does it all. He roams it incredibly effectively. Like, you get level 3, level 2 stun. That's a kill for most lanes. You pressure lanes like crazy. You're not like the Slardar, because if you imagine, remember what I talked about, like the Slardar's downside is when you don't have blink, you're just slowly running at people, and you're hoping your darnest that they stand still. But Sand King, he has, he's gonna get Trinkle Boots and run at you, and he's gonna catch up and stun you.
Mm-hmm.
He's always gonna. That was the meta that developed between us and Newbie at ESL Genting,
Right.
where at the time Slardar was seen as the better hero, and then it became this meta where all of a
10
sudden Sand King beats
seconds
Slardar
remaining.
because Sand King can just stun, and Slardar can't really do too much.
5 seconds remaining.
Wow. And now Dazzle, in response to this, hoping for a little bit of wave push on their own. Yeah, it does definitely feel like with all these different sources of initiation, maybe Faceless Void, I guess it depends on what lane this Earthshaker gets thrown into, but it might run into that classic problem of not having damage to throw into the Chronosphere. And I feel like this is very like a no-tail hero, the Void in this instance.
It is. If you remember way back in the day, especially for a team like OG, it always comes around. Everything, it's like a circle, Time is a flat circle. It all just...
I love that.
They're going to pick defensive heroes and cores that they can back up. But DC, with the Lycan pick, that hero is really good right now. It's beating everybody.
Yeah, I think I've only seen it lose one game. It was Fnatic that played it for Ajit, and they just completely sacrificed him, which meant that they
10 seconds
obviously weren't able to do as much.
To be fair, Fnatic has lost all 4 games, so they might be downscaling that hero.
That's fair enough. But the DP, I've been wondering when this hero is going to come back, and it's so cool played together with that Faceless Void. You just trap them in, have the little ghosts eat them up, and they don't have something like a Sven to boost up the armor or anything else like
10
that to
seconds
keep
remaining.
people alive. I guess Howl is probably the closest thing that you would have to it. But
5
if you think
seconds
about like a
remaining.
Weave drop down, a Chronosphere there, an Exorcism, they're all going to be eaten up. Torn
OG's
to
turn
shreds.
to ban.
That is like the most perfect fight that you've had to lay out, though.
That's true.
Dota's
I guess
never like
that's
that.
true.
You know what's gonna happen?
Okay.
She's gonna get gripped, just pulled back. They're gonna try to save her with the grave. She's gonna get tossed up in the air by this Puck Yule Scepter or something like that. Get blown up. I don't know.
10 seconds remaining.
You're not liking the DP pick, is what you're telling me.
No, I think it's sick, but
5
I can always make the
seconds
argument.
remaining.
Yeah.
In terms of ideal team fights,
No, that's true. That's fair enough.
we'll make it wild.
And I guess that's the thing is if you don't find that ideal team fight for OG, you maybe waste an ultimate here or there, and all of a sudden you don't have that much of an ability to fight anymore, whereas DC's lineup, a lot more capability to constantly fight.
That's exactly the point that I was going to bring it. You're so good at
Oh
what you
my
do,
God.
Lyrical.
I just take from the best, and
You're the new
casting with
capitalist.
you. Oh my God, I don't know what
You're the new
talking
cap,
about. You're
for
outta
sure.
here. Well, I already stole his co-casters, so we're on the right track.
Yeah. You're Ash Ketchum. I'm Pikachu. You chose me. I chose you. You don't know who chose who.
Yeah.
That was great.
You're turning
but-
into Owen. You're the rap god
Yeah.
now.
Nah, definitely am not.
But talk to me about it.
It was like, because if you notice OG's lineup, the reason why I was making fun of you is because their team fight has to go well.
Right.
Because they have such high cooldown abilities. Like when you have Chronosphere and Death Prophet Ultimate, like you need these things to go right. You cannot mess these things up. Blowing DP ults, especially as a DP player, it's frustrating. Like it slows down the pace of your game. Like I know Mad is going to be watching this game very intently and saying to himself, like, these need to go right. Like I need these team fights to go right. But his team is one of the, OG, one of the best team fight execution teams in the world, which is why they can consistently pull off lineups
OG's
that maybe
turn
other
to
teams
pick.
can't.
All right. Well, and a last ban now from the
DC's
Nature's
turn
Prophet,
to
another
pick.
thing that would have allowed that constant team fight to come. And now we're going to get a classic, Jerax Earth Spirit. And we've been seeing a couple teams save their position for last recently. I mean, as coach and all, what's the idea behind that? Is it just sort of
10
the way that the
seconds
drafts work
remaining.
out now? Or is it because you're not going to have last pick, you might as well just
5 seconds
throw your mid out there
remaining.
and get the one you really want?
Yeah, I mean, the thing is if you're 4th pick mid, 5th, if you're not last pick, and you're 4th or 5th picking, it doesn't
You
really
may now
matter
select your
having a
heroes.
core role in that position because you're gonna have to. Maybe I shouldn't talk about this.
Okay.
Okay, if you're 4th or 5th, if you're gonna have to consecutively 4th or 5th pick in that sense, and you're not last pick, then you're gonna have to have revealed what you're gonna do anyways in
Yeah.
the mid part of the strategy, so it doesn't really matter. Whereas like that's why this last pick option, 2nd pick, is a little bit balanced because you have this ability to just like nail it. You know, you can look at the enemy draft, like DC can look at OG's draft and say, man, if as long as I get Ana in this chrono, they can't stop this black hole, and that's their condition to win at all times.
Yeah.
That's why you can do things like this as the last pick in the Enigma.
10
But
seconds remaining.
In any Dubus here? I told you! Dubu
I know, that's
Batrider!
what I was gonna say.
5 seconds remaining.
I said it leaves it open.
You ended up going back.
I said pretty good is what I said, right?
Well, talk to me about this. How pretty good is the Faceless
Miracle.
Void mid?
Can you see me now?
I know you did it. You called it right at the start.
It was a very shaky call though. I wasn't willing to put my name on it. I think it's good. Because if you think about it, Puck orbs, and he can just time walk. Yeah. And if I know Bulba, and I saw this guy play the calls, he's gonna sit mid with the Sand King, and Puck does not want to live against that life.
Yeah. Help out his buddy, make sure that Abed has a good start to this game. As you mentioned just a second ago as well, no answer for a BKB black hole with the exception of a Chronosphere.
So as long as you get your Void in, and hopefully, you know, if you're DC, the Void's going to throw it out first. But so I mean, in terms of like the win condition, DC always has one. That's always such a relief, by the way. Like as long as you have some sort of win condition, like it's a lot easier to play. And for people that haven't played competitive Dota, that might be confusing, but it's like there's always this pressure on you, especially at a TI. You have this inherent like fear, you know, where you're thinking to yourself like, I could always lose. You know, this game, like, well, what are we gonna do if we get a little bit behind? And you start to panic and you make these bad plays because you feel like you don't have a way to win the game eventually. But when you have something like this, like, they'll always fall back on it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They might get behind, but they'll say all it takes is one hole, guys, and that'll up your morale. Like crazy.
I guess that's the same type of thing with a no-tail exorcism. I guess maybe not because they're going to be able to build into armor items. But yeah, I'll be very curious how that works out for them. Also, the Batrider support. So you're talking about this before. You love the pick. What is it that's going to be his
pretty
job?
good.
30 seconds. to battle.
Again, you're going too far. You're taking this too far. His job this game is to try to disrupt the team fight.
Okay.
Because if you look at it, this Enigma, he has to play patient with his black hole. Like when Forev gets his items, he has to play patient. So you need this Batrider to be the one to get in there, be annoying. But at the same time, he needs farm. Like you need stacks. The good news though is by putting this
Battle
Faceless Void,
begins.
oh, they're actually going to swap completely.
Yeah.
That's so interesting. So what I thought what they would do is they would put Ana mid on the Void because, like, what do you do then? But at the same time, I feel like the Sand King he has a purpose in this game by just going mid and messing with this DP. But I think maybe this is the right call, especially if you just dedicated dual lane.
Oh, Bulba protecting the courier, making sure it doesn't end up going down. What a guy.
Not today, J-Rax.
Well, and Abed still going to be able to have his salve brought... Oh, not quite brought out to him, actually, it looks like. It's still on the courier. Had to make the long way around. Drops the GG brand. It's going to heal back up. I was wondering if Fly was going to go back in for that. But talk to me about it. So you see that there's this Earth Spirit roaming around. Can you really even like find a kill here onto Forev?
I don't really think so, but I don't even know. This is the first time I've seen this like matchup in a while. Void versus the Enigma. I imagine the Enigma does okay, but it's still Enigma at the end of the day. Your level 1 Eidolons, the mana conversion isn't that great. You're just trying to be annoying as possible.
Also, you're talking about the sticky napalm and how annoying that is, and bet even more so for an Earthshaker as that, you know, has to turn pretty long range to throw back the fissures to keep himself alive. And Dubu can just sort of trade hits with them consistently. S4 not having a great time here.
Yeah, that's exactly what we talked about in the pregame. It kind of goes both ways because you can fissure from fog, but at the same time, like, this isn't fun. You're just getting right-clicked. Can't really do much. Earthshaker's not a hero that jungles very effectively either. He does get the enchant totem early level so that he could go back for it if he needed, but still all the same. As Abed, let's take a look at how he's doing mid. Perfectly fine. As Puck, there's very few heroes that he really struggles with in the mid lane, or doesn't match up positively with him.
Not to mention that he's also just a very competent player on this one, Abed, and should be able to get the Jaunt away. No real danger there.
No-Tail actually used his Spirit Siphon on the creep.
Oh.
On purpose? I can't imagine it was. Maybe that's some next level play where he just continues to deal off the creep.
Maybe.
It worked out anyways.
Okay, it's fine.
It was a net zero. Nothing bad happened, nothing good happened. He forced an orb.
Well, now Salve used. So mid lane, you said that the Puck should have a decent time against the DP. Is there any like kill potential with rotations for both of these heroes, or are both of them rather safe?
I think it's much easier to kill the DP, which is why I thought they were doing Void mid, but I guess that was stupid of me to think. Just because Faceless Void would be having a rough time too. Because you're level 1 Time Walk, what are you going to do every... How long is it of a cooldown? 24 seconds. So you Time Walk one orb and just get right-clicked 8 times? Alright, I was actually really dumb. My bad. I should take full responsibility for making bad comments as well.
I should have just called you out, but I didn't.
You should have, man.
I know, I missed my chance. At the end of the day, though, like, 4-man shield too. So Bulma is going to be trying to farm out this camp. He did end up getting a nice little stack on it, and is getting into level 2. Might be close to level 3 by the time it's all said and done. But the CS battle going pretty nicely so far for DC. Mason's been able to pull these creeps back away before they get pulled to the camp, and well, it looks like Jarek's coming in time to only get experience from that last Wildkin.
They've got really greedy supports though, on the side of DC. Like the Sand King and the Spat Rider both need games.
Abed? Drop it low. One more right click. No-Tail solos him. He is going to die. No! They got him time fly. Oh, the dynamic duo. They do it again.
Some Celine Dion music shit. Just saves him at the last second.
Oh, man. Well, No-Tail, proving that he's still got the mid lane chops, can do it all and then some.
What a beast. Not even his role. Casually strolls up, kills Abed by himself. No help needed.
Man.
That's got to be a blow. 'Cause that's not supposed to happen.
Right. About a half level ahead because of that.
Yeah.
Is level 6 something, obviously for DP it's a great spell, but sometimes you don't see Exorcism cast until a little bit later. Does it matter all that much?
It's not as big as it is for other heroes. Like when Invoker or DP gets 6, you're not on alert, right?
Yeah.
Whereas with Puck, of course, anybody is liable to die to Coil. At the same time, I mean, they've got a safe lane Void. It's very hard for him to die. He's level 4, doesn't have a single level time dilation up yet. Could level the Time Walk. I think he's just waiting to see right now what happens. Play it by ear.
Abed there is just going to use the farming mechanism, backs back out again. You mentioned the greedy support combo. They are going to be rotating mid now. Dubu has 2 points up in Firefly, but it is right as the shrine is being used. So I guess that they're going to try and time this for when he comes back and maybe see if they can make something happen.
That's a pretty strong DP though. He's got two charges of Spirit Sight. And if he wants, he can level a Silence as well.
And though the silent Dream Coil is used, not Silence yet. He only gets the one off. Can he actually get out of there? The Grave comes, but owned his No-Tail still going to end up being dropped there.
Oh, they might just die fly too. If Abed gets from behind him.
Ton of damage. They're moving in. Bulba doesn't quite have enough mana yet. He's just got it now and had to trade off that aggro.
Bulba, don't die here.
Get punched. Is he going to be able to get out of there? Fly
Jarek's
still getting rained down. Jarek's rolling forward. Needs a Burrow Strike out, but it's going to be brought down. Bulba gets dropped. They do find 2 kills, but it comes at a cost.
Oh, he was so slow for that. As Mason gets
Radiant's middle tower
a
is
solo
under
pickup on this
attack.
Earthshaker without even having to commit his ultimate at the same time up at top.
Uh-oh. Jerax
Here.
also found himself a Dubu. A good bit of damage. Is Jerax going to end up going down now as well?
Any Dubus here?
Attack.
Just one.
Man. All right. A flurry of action, much more aggression than we saw in the last game. Break it down for me. I mean, obviously DC coming out ahead in terms of kills.
Just faster heroes, much more punishing ability. Jerax, not sure where to go, or I'm not sure where he's supposed to go. Like, he made the best of a bad situation there, but at the same time goes down nonetheless. Puck kind of recovers his game a little bit, and that's the scary thing about Puck is he has this ability to pressure you as soon as he gets that coil.
Well, Coil is back up, but also No Tail's been able to hit 6, and he is going to be
Dyer's middle
doing that
tower
exorcism,
is under
doing a
attack.
bit of damage, and actually they found themselves a Dubu. He kicks Dubu and not a rock. A little bit unfortunate, and that means that Dubu should get away. I think he should die now.
DC, they're just gonna Firefly up this tower. And this is why the level 6 isn't as key on the Death Prophet. Like, you're gonna pop that Exorcism, but what does it really do for you is Jerax?
Oh, well played by Abed. Dodges the stun and then able to make the kill happen onto Jerax. So tower down to about half HP, but they keep it alive.
I think this Death Prophet, for sure, this is the way that you should play it, though. You should try to use your ulti, trip it down, because otherwise you're just holding on to it. You're not doing anything with it. The downside, though, is it's not that scary like we talked about. It's not like some heroes where you hit level 6 and you're just inherently afraid of that hero.
Right.
Like, this hero needs a decent amount of build-up. Like, you probably need at least one more item. And interestingly enough, it looks like he wants to go for this Veil. First item. Not too typical.
DP. Oh, Dubu. Yeah, up top there, moving in now, and with all this big rotations, they are not quite going to kill Dubu off, actually. They can walk in. He does have Echo Slam available if he wants to use it, trying to keep Jerax alive with the body blocks, but they're not
just
going to
trying to
fully commit to it.
Oh, he didn't get the Grave off either on Jerax.
Now Fly in a little bit of trouble. S4 is still there and does have the Echo Slammy. Thought about the Fissure, holding on to it again for the moment, and
Radiant's
Dubu is
middle
coming in as
tower
well.
is
They're going to
under attack.
separate.
He just continues to kite him with this sticky napalm as Fly trying to close him off into this corner.
Oh, they get the Earthshaker Fissure block to make sure that Fly doesn't get dove. But this fight has just gone on for so long, and S4 is still chasing him, but now Abed shows up with a haste rune. Oh, S4 dove a little bit too deep here and is
Got
going
Grave.
to be punished. The Grave is there, but that might just mean that Fly is dead as well. No way to stop this. S4 dies before the Fissure.
Dyer's middle tower
TP's
is under
canceled.
attack.
This
Radiant's
is
top tower
a pretty
is
significant
under
lead
attack.
at just 9 minutes. 4K already. Even when
Radiant
last game when
structures are
DC were just stomping fights, they didn't have this fear.
Uh-oh. And rolling in. Jerax going to be able to play his way out of it for the moment. The Burrow Strike is going to come in as well, and Jerax gets Black Hole.
Even committing that.
Solo. They do not give a damn.
Yeah, they're just like, we're picking up kills everywhere
Radiant's
on the
top
map.
tower
They got to
is
kill
under
mid. They
attack.
immediately go get 2 kills top. They get a kill bottom. Everyone on this map in the last minute has died, sans this void. And now they're committing for this
Radiant's
push at
middle
bottom, and this
tower
has
is
to do
under
something.
attack.
Because they're going to lose this mid tower, and we talked about last game, Gabe, what we mentioned was the importance of that mid tower. They're just going to have to give this up for free.
Dyer's
They're
bottom
going
tower
to take this
is under
bottom
attack.
offlane tower, but Dubu could even just Firefly to try to keep this alive, maybe force
Radiant's
the commitment
middle
of the
tower is under
Chronosphere.
attack.
You can do that.
Dyer's structures
It would
are
probably be
fortified.
worth it if it stops the push. They're going to commit the glyph to
Radiant's
this.
middle tower
Mid tower
has
goes
fallen.
down simultaneously. Not even losing this bottom one.
Wow. You obviously don't want to overcommit here for OG. It's so scary to move in like this. The things that have been going well in this game, mainly that DP and the farm that he's been able to get, but well, tower brought down fairly low. They aren't going to quite get it, as you mentioned. OG forced to back out yet again. And DC, they're just playing so well right now.
They are. This series, it's not even that OG is making any critical mistakes. It's just that DC is making very good rotations. They're understanding their heroes incredibly well. And they're playing fast and aggressively. Like, they're playing to win. They're not playing not to lose. They've got this Midas up in this Enigma too. That 5k gold lead is going to snowball even further. This is a hero that usually, like the Invoker, kind of has dead net worth. Because most of the time you just get a Midas in farm, but he's been able to have impact early on. He saved his bottom tower. He was able to get a kill on Jerax.
Look at this. Dubu's playing so aggressively here, and I think that you know, OG is expecting there's other heroes behind him, but really it's this rotation. Abed and Bulba together, seeing if they can find
Radiant's
somebody.
top
And
tower
S4, in
is
fact,
under
might be the
attack.
one that they run into, trying to build towards that Blink Dagger, but he's going to end up even further pulled down. He actually manages to get the Echo Slam
There's a
off.
silence too.
What? How does that happen? He still gets the Dream Coil, finds the kill, but that was closer than it should have been, probably.
At the same time, they lost top tower. They committed Echo. They either had to save somebody or, you know, at the very least had to not die. That's a big spell committed. They really need this chrono to be used right now. I think that's the biggest move, is that Ana's been holding onto this chrono for the last 2 minutes. Something needs to happen on the map for them right now, because this pace is not comfortable. It's 7k. In the last 2 minutes since we've talked, it's gone up another 2,000 gold.
Really impressive.
And Ana, he's going to kick Ana at bottom. There's no black hole, so you shouldn't be too worried about this.
Gold for me.
Dubu is still in the area, and he does have Lasso. He's going to walk over the top. They spot that S4 is TPing in, and
You might think about
Time
chronoing here.
dilation.
They're bringing a lot of heroes. You should just commit something for this.
Yeah, he does get that Chronosphere, but can he actually take him down? The damage is not quite there, and it is finally going to come as No-Tail shows up.
If you commit 3 heroes down there and you don't get that kill, you've effectively ruined your own game.
Right.
So you just have to commit for it. It doesn't feel good because it's only a Bat Rider, but what's done is done at that point. You've committed the TP of 2 of your cores. Make something happen.
Oh no, and now a black hole about to be off cooldown again. I was wondering if Rev was going to go there since Abed had the invis. They did scan out that Abed was moving down to the bottom lane. OG did, but at the end of the day, it's still just really good movement around the map. Like, you look at Bulba here pushing out the creep wave. You've got people mid as well. As long as you don't lose Dubu, and it looks like it might just happen. The roll in, it's not quite there in time. No-Tail able to find him for a moment with the Spirit Siphon, but
Dire's middle
Dubu
tower is under attack.
should be able to get away from this.
Radiant
And maybe going to
structures
try
are
and
fortified.
hold on to this mid tower. Another exorcism used.
You can bring the Enigma over too, if absolutely need be,
Radiant's
but Abed has his
bottom
ultimate.
tower is under
They're even
attack.
going to drag him back. No fissure quite yet.
Ow.
No-Tail. You don't really want to mess with this.
Silence keeping him alive, but now the Dream Coil onto 2. They're set up for the black hole. He jumps over to the other side. They're still in danger of running into this black hole and should be able to just secure the kill onto No-Tail regardless. That's going to be one.
Oh, Ana
Another
goes down
one
too.
going to Ana. Fly is also getting ran down. The big bad wolf is chasing out Fly on the poor Dazzle, and he is eventually going to fall.
Oh, he might even get stunned too.
They caught out S4. He's going to end up dropping. Silence comes out. DC are just running all over OG. No respect at all. They don't quite kill off S4, but honestly, doesn't matter. They're taking the
Radiant's
towers. They're
middle
winning the
tower
fights.
is
They're doing
under attack.
everything.
Yeah, and they didn't even have to commit the black hole to that. Their big ability, that it's really their only cooldown that's pretty massive. We talked about how they were going to be able to push the pace with their low cooldown abilities, and that's exactly what's happened so far, Gabe. They're able to go around the map, kill people non-stop. There's not a whole lot that OG can do. The one time they were forced to commit the chrono at bottom, they get a kill on a Bat Rider, but they don't transition it into anything. Remember, they killed the Bat Rider, then they had it back because everyone moved forward. Abed made the rotation down. He ruins the space that they created by doing so. They're not able to take any of these tier 1 towers down with this Death Prophet ultimate. And the longer this kind of thing happens, the less effective your spell usage gets.
Radiant's bottom tower is under
Yeah,
attack.
it's a real problem. And you just look at the map movements also. It's always like one DC hero in a
Radiant's
lane
bottom tower has
versus
fallen.
like OG are sort of forced to commit
Radiant's
several
top
different
tower is
heroes,
under
and then
attack.
they're just getting more out of the map, and the net worth lead continues to be accentuated. As far as DC is concerned, like, what's the thing to worry about at this point? How do
Dire's
OG
middle
kind of
tower
pull
is
themselves
under
back
attack.
in?
I think for OG, you still have 2 very strong teamfight ultimates, but at the same time, I'm not sure because it's hard for them to match the pace right now because they don't really have the heroes. DC, we talked about it. They have 2 very greedy supports, but they weren't punished very hard. Their laning phase wasn't really punished. Usually, when you have 2 really greedy supports like this, you pick an offlaner that can do something.
Dire
You
are
pick 2 heroes that
standing.
can mess with the offlane. But I mean, this Lycan went relatively untouched. In fact, he got a solo kill on
Radiant's
S4.
middle tower is
Oh,
under
roll
attack.
in.
we go.
Jarix is there. Can they
This is
actually
a
do
big
this?
kill
They
on this
need
puck.
to make it happen. They will find at least one Dubu. Going to TP out now. Looks like he will. Oh! You understand it, but that one
Yeah.
hurt.
That one, you did get, in a way, if you want to think about it that way, you got the puck kill.
Yeah.
So that,
I mean, let's be real. The Chronosphere, that one hurt. It was a rough one.
Yeah. Again,
I'll take your trip.
here's the thing: is at bottom you could tell he didn't really want
Dire's
to chrono this
structures
Bat
are
Rider.
fortified.
But you have to commit.
Dyer's middle tower is
Your
under
entire
attack.
team is there, especially if your entire team is there. Maybe if it's just you,
Dire's
you'll think
middle
twice about it.
tower
You'll go for the
has
bash or
fallen.
something like that.
Yeah.
But if your entire team is there, you want to make something happen.
Oh, are they just going to hold this? No, they're going to be able to kill him off without it. Everything's down, and
Dire's
Mason
top
takes down
tower is
S4.
under
And now
attack.
with, I mean, Exorcism used, if they can fight immediately after this goes down, this would be such a great timing, or even maybe a little bit before. Abed is silenced, though. He's not going to be able to jaunt away. He does have no Blink Dagger because he blinked in aggressively. He's in further trouble, and Abed is going to go down. Really good silence by No-Tail before
Radiant's
the silence
bottom
came from the
tower
puck.
is
Or,
under
I
attack.
guess around the same time.
That's
Dire's
2 times
top
now
tower
that
is
he's
under
died back to
attack.
back. And since he represents such a significant amount of their net worth, like that's a 1,000 gold lead change that just happens because of that death. Like 1k flat. They're going to grab this tier 2 at bottom.
Radiant's
so,
bottom tower
you know,
has
it immediately
fallen.
jumps up, but Abed wants to secure this game. He's got to be a little bit more careful than this. As top tower's going to go
top
down.
tower has
No-Tail
fallen.
doesn't have that ultimate, and that's why DC, they want to commit for this. They've got the Blink Dagger and the Lasso in 3 seconds.
They wanted to go for Jarex, but couldn't quite get him. They might be able to find a tastier target as No-Tail is forward. They'll catch on the fly. That should be more than enough. I would assume he does still have Grave TP, actually, but with Malefice used, that'll be the kill.
And now you've got a 17 minutes and 9,000 gold. BKB is coming up on Forev pretty soon. He's got his Blink Dagger ready. Level 15 talent. Once he grabs that, that's really when Enigma starts to become such a nuisance. Get that cooldown reduction. Can't really do too much. Blink Dagger is going to come any second now on Bulba as well.
Yeah, they're well set up to become even stronger. And they've been winning these fights for the most part without those big items, without those big timings on talents and such. So we need to see something big from OG. And probably the next Chrono, the next Exorcism is going to have to bear fruit.
It's not just that. Like,
Gold.
it's got to do so much. You got to have like a game-changing impact with those abilities right now. Because winning one fight and then transitioning it into nothing isn't enough, right? Like you're gonna have to grab quite a bit. As up at top though, Dubu, one step at a time. You've got to peck away at this lead. It's gonna be the first to go down. Kill at this point for OG.
Maybe just a little bit too cavalier right now, DC, and OG taking full advantage.
For sure they are right now. They weren't making these kinds of mistakes earlier, or even in the previous game, but right now, like Abed, you notice at bottom, doesn't even have his blink or his orb up quite yet, and he's walking in between.
Yeah.
And Ana might even pick him off
Oh
here.
no, they saw the correction. Maybe they get the Yule Scepter lift up.
Just chrono him.
All right, he's gonna do it. He catches both of his teammates in there. Actually, and he's gonna have phase shift as well as an
Middle
orb.
tower is under attack.
Away in a second, possibly times
Okay,
it now.
no problem. That was a little bit closer than you'd like, but you notice that DC, like Abed, is overplaying his advantage like crazy.
Yeah.
He didn't have blink or his orb up quite yet, and he was still walking there, gets spotted. At the same time, S4 gets noticed.
I mean, can't really go on. If he's not careful, they need to back out again. There's a couple heroes that are rotating in. They're by a shrine.
Yeah, S4's got his blink.
Thought about it. Rev is there. They found him again for the moment. Malefice keeping him back.
Light.
Weavis going to keep him alive, and with that, DC don't want to overstep their bounds.
DC should just calm down a little bit. Right now, I think they're a little bit too antsy. As a team, you know you're ahead. Like, you have to know. Look at all the items that you have. You can just one-to-one compare net worth, and you'll be able to figure it out in game. But at the same time, you make mistakes like this, it's the fastest way to give up a lead.
For sure. I do like this play, you know, going in for a smoke together. Relatively speaking, Lycan is showing in the lane, or at least he was a second ago. Although Forev is now not with the rest of the team, so it's going to be Dubu and Bulba running into Fly. That's going to be a nice little pickoff for him. They should be able to finish off that kill without too much... Well, no, they've used all the stuns.
At the same time, what is he going to do? He's stuck on a cliff.
Oh, yeah, he didn't have... I thought he had a TP, but such luck.
They're going to shove out the waves. They probably take out this tier 2 and then go for Roshan. Probably the play order.
Forev walks forward, punches him a couple more times. they're playing it now much more safe. You can see stuck together all as a team. They're able to catch now onto the
this is a
DP.
big kill.
Epicenter out as well, but the Eul Scepter keeping them alive for the moment. Still a good bit of damage dealt. The Spirit Siphon there, but the Echo Slam turnaround. They're able to interrupt it. The Black Hole now down immediately canceled. Great play. Chrono onto 2. S4 starting to deal the deeps in the back. He's gonna live! Just barely for the moment, but Dubu finally brings him down. Ana now trying to deal with this. Bulma's just been doing the Sandstorm off to the side. And another great play from Jerix. Finds the stun silence onto Puck, gets the kill. 3 dead for DC, and Bulba, the lone one left, is going to be able to try and TP out corner and makes his way out of there. But my God, the play from Jerix was the one that canceled that black hole there.
Yeah, he gets off everything in that fight. Just manages to clip Nigma with that. Barely gets a black hole off for even half a second. I thought that he was going to be able to survive though. Did he not grave the DP?
Dire's bottom tower
Maybe he did.
is under
and it
attack.
just ran out. I thought for a second that No-Tail was actually going to be able to survive through all of that.
Yeah, it was really close.
I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt, but I feel like he didn't. But in any case, that was quite the fight. Although they did just lose 2 tier 2 towers before that, so you don't feel too good about that. And that's what we said, right? Is if you win a team fight but you don't get any objectives, how much did you really move the needle?
How much as well if Ana's going to get picked off here. He gets the Lincolns broken. And we didn't see a lasso there. It looked like Batriders was on cooldown.
His Blink Dagger was.
Yeah.
And at the same time, do you really commit? If you lose another fight like that, that's when morale starts to really go down.
Yeah.
But at the same time, DC, what I was going to mention is they were getting a little bit cocky, and they still didn't have their Enigma BKB yet. If you have Enigma BKB, that is, the fight is won. Like, you're going to chrono 2 targets. Nothing's going to be able to cancel it. Void was a little bit too far. Like, that's a fantastic fight for you if you're DC.
Yeah, and they are going to have that brought out to them, I'm sure, in just a couple of seconds here. Obviously won't have buyback, but not the biggest issue. So Roche is your thought, the next big objective on the map for either team.
Yeah. If you get, because Roche has always been the counter to these big cooldown abilities like Doom or Void. If you chrono somebody and he's got Aegis, does it really matter?
Yeah, doesn't at all. And DC sort of lacking the normal vision hero that they would have. They have it still in Batrider at the very least, but he doesn't want to have to like use Firefly to go check Roshan necessarily. And No-Tail is actually the one that's in here with Ana. Are they going to go check it? I have a feeling they will, as the smoke is going to be popped. They move in. Roche is not that low, only about half HP, and Forev is up there on the high ground. He jumps forward. They have that Midnight Pulse down already. The BKB's popped, but he doesn't actually have his blink there to get into range until 15 seconds until Black Hole is up and online. Dubu being slowed down by the time dilation. They drop down.
That is a lot of damage.
Lycan is there as well. Can they do it? Can they bring him down in time? They are going to kill off the Lycan, but S4 is also going to go down. I know No-Tail bringing out the grave. He is eventually going to be dropped. Oh, he got the regen! So much regen brings him back to life, and the stun now onto 2. They can't kill off this DP. Forev has Black Hole back up, but where's going to be the rest of the follow-up damage? He's getting ran down by Ana. Jerix is there as well. Finds the silence, finds the kill. 2 dead for DC, and maybe going to lose a couple more on their way out.
Oh, DC, this is not the fight that you wanted to take. On top of that, Roshan's half as well, so if they lose this fight, OG just going to march in, take that.
The plays, they come back out yet again. Jerix jumps up to the high ground, wants to find Dubu and run him down, but doesn't quite end up working out that way. So DC salvage at least these couple of heroes getting out, but that one hurt.
Yeah, and this Roshan is going to be the big one. We talked about it. It's going to be their chrono counter, but unfortunately, it should go the way of OG. They're going to orb in there. No-Tail has a little bit too much armor for them to do anything. They're all weaved up. DC, though, they recognize the importance of this. They're going to try to go in anyways.
Burrow.
Bulba going to go for it.
Now Sandstorm's still there. S4 jumps in. They've got the catch. Ovid takes it. There's a big play. They come back in. S4 has already been able to find 1. 2 are down, but you do have Enigma that's going to be coming back into this one. If OG push up high ground, they could be punished quite heavily. They found the Lycan, but can they get out with their lives? S4 in trouble. The Glimmer Cape can keep him alive for the moment. They jump back forward. No-Tail caught. Trying to TP out of there. He jumps in. Black Hole down. Mason with the double. Make it a triple. The Grave will not save Ana this time. I do not believe, unless he was able to time annihilate and keep Abed back, but the Malefice is there, catches him again, and now Ana just trying to time walk
Radiant's
away, but the
courier
stuns
has been
continue. The
killed.
courier is down, and he can taunt all he wants. The kick away from Jerax, actually somehow saving his buddy. Oh my god, OG, just when you thought that Ana was dead, turns out he's immortal, and then he jumps back in? That was fine.
All right, no one's gonna talk about it, but Dubu's flame break there
Yeah.
to move them. He just
Radiant
parted them
structures are
like the
fortified.
goddamn Red Sea. Abed just walks in there, claims that Aegis like it was theirs the entire time. He tries to go for the chrono. OG.
OG indeed, OG.
If they lose S4 here too, he's a little bit out of no man's land. He does have that Echo.
Glimmer Cape keeping him alive yet again, but pulled back in. Going to be lassoed, most likely going to be killed. They keep flying
Really far away.
as well. S4, everything in the kitchen seat to try and keep him alive, but is eventually going to be brought down. DC just too hard to deal with this point. 15,000 net worth lead, and again they jump in, not able to stop it. Echo Slam is there. Can S4 turn it all around? The BKB TP forever is gone.
You
They're
need
all
something out of this.
Yeah, Abed dropped down very low, but does have another phase shift. He can maybe get out with the TP boots, the stun. It's not there in time. Everybody from DC gets out. They are looking
Abed.
scary.
And Dubu just hiding in the corner, trying to make his great escape.
Radiant's bottom
There's the fissure. They need this. This is a gem too. They're going to commit the Echo for this as well. Gets the Force Staff out. In 1 second, he can blink, but Jerax is right there.
Oh no, poor Dubu. Well, they do get the gem now on Jerax.
Ooh, that is still... It really felt like DC was throwing this game away. Like, they took that fight without, like you said, the blink available. They popped the BKB too early on the Enigma. The Roche fight looks like it's going to go in OG's favor. But DC, they're decisive. They're like, guys, we have to go for this engagement. The timing was perfect. Bulba just blinks in. He's like, I have to go for this. Just check how low Roche is. Dubu gets that flame break off. Lifts them away from that Aegis. Abed still has it in his inventory. They open up the map now. They force buybacks. And this is definitively in DC's favor now. 13k gold lead at just 28 young minutes into this game. And Ana's, all of his item progression so far has just fallen off. He's still first in his team, but that's not saying much considering how farmed this Lycan is.
Oh, and they can taste it right now. DC, I don't know if they spotted Ana moving over, but they do have a little bit of vision here. And with Farev moving in with the black hole, he blinked aggressively off to the side. They have it available, thinking about dropping it. And indeed they are. It doesn't quite connect. Oh, no. Farev, what have you done? And now they got the black hole. The Chronosphere onto 2. Are they actually going to be able to do this? A silence onto 3. The stun as well. DC, what have you done? Oh, no. The grave is there for No Tail as well. He's going to be able to get the Eul Scepter lift up. I think he's still dead nonetheless. But that was not the play.
That was definitively not the play. S4 doesn't have that Echo. He'd love to have it. Jerax even goes in, tries to make something happen as Abed gonna blink forward. Graves gonna be cast onto Jerax, but saves him for the time being. Is there any sort of follow-up damage? There is. And now there's no chrono. Maybe that was a crazy
Next level debate.
10,000 level turnaround play that Farev did that made them use the chrono, and he's just thinking like a billion seconds ahead of us, Gabe.
I know, we're not prepared. That's the real reason here. I mean, to be fair, again, like, you want to get that, like, ultimate range one, so that way Dazzle can't come in and, you know, Grave or whatever. It ends up working out, DC.
That worked out, like, way better than it should have. They MacGyvered the hell out of that fight. I thought it was going to be, I was like, that black hole just, that's a game-losing black hole, and somehow it turned out okay.
Yeah. They do realize now that there's a ward up on the high ground. Unfortunately, it was about to expire anyways. But still, a nice little pickup there. And with the gem, maybe they can establish some form of map control here.
Yeah. This, not losing the gem, they still have it in their possession. They were able to play hot potato with it. S4, he should be able to clear out some of the vision, which has been so key to DC being able to make these plays, but at the same time, like, in terms of momentum, it's so firmly in DC's favor right now. Like we said, as long... he didn't get it that time, but as long as you catch the Void, there's nothing that can break your black hole.
That's true. Oh, man.
I still hold by that point. That doesn't count. That one doesn't count.
Well, OG now, they're going to try and smoke up, see if they can make something happen. Chronosphere is there, as well as the Exorcism. This game has felt like it's sort of swinging wildly one way and then the other, but it's sort of been a steady decline into the favor of DC over this period of time. And they are going to be heading across. Looks like Abed is there to break the smoke, and all scouted out. He jaunts away.
Oh, that's a big one too. They committed for this. They're even back in.
Echo Slam ends up being used, but they are going to be able to break it up with the
two-man stun
there as well. Can they turn back around?
They really want him dead.
Oh, and like it, he's going to be controlled, but the black hole is down. Ana again able to dodge away from it, but No-Tail is not. He is going to be caught with the grave, keeping him alive yet again. Forev in trouble is going to be dropped. Can they actually make this play happen though? The silence came out just in time. It ends up interrupting the burrow strike that might have killed No-Tail. DC fallen by the wayside here as they are running into all kinds of issue. Abed?
Did you see what happened? Bulba, right before his channeling epicenter ends, he blinks in. It would have been enough to kill No-Tail after his Yule's ends. Oh, if he just channels that, that's potentially just the game right there.
I think he got silenced as he came down for the burrow strike as well. So like he went a little early and then also got silenced.
But if he does it, it shouldn't have mattered. The damage would have been enough.
Well, these things happen even to the best of players.
That's going to be, and it's these little mistakes that really make you question whether DC can wrap up this game, because OG, if we calm ourselves down, or at least myself, this is still firmly winnable game for them, because Chronosphere is such an amazing ability. I mean, the only reason I'm getting hyped is because I thought that DC was going to get...
It's a hype game, man.
They were going to get caterwauled this game. But it did not end up happening. Like, DC is giving them a run for their money. They've got a 13k gold lead. They just got to do well to protect it. They're going to de-ward some up in this mid area, like you talked about with this gem. And DC, they still have Black Hole up in 50 seconds. We talked about how pivotal that ability was going to be for them. But they need to execute these abilities a little bit more cleanly. Like this Black Hole, this epicenter, like these kinds of mistakes, DC, these are basic errors that they shouldn't be making. And that's why they're going to be kicking themselves. Because from a strategic point of view, they should be pretty satisfied with how they played this game. On the other side, OG, there have been some slip-ups, but the crazy thing is their lineup still allows for that wiggle room because they have so many great abilities, right? Yeah. You've got Jarex who's playing out of his mind. He soaked up, what, like 4 stuns by himself in that corner of the map. Normally that should be enough to be able to win you the fight. They've got Echo Slam. Anytime they get a big Echo off, that could turn the fight. Same with the Chronosphere. You're finally starting to get some farm on this Void. This Manta Diffusal build makes him incredibly strong in terms of just pure damage.
Yeah. Well, and it does really feel like there was that sort of the antsy want to move, like we're about to win, we're about to 2-0 one of the teams that probably should have been top of the group, and you know that's putting us in such a great position, and then you know a couple of those little mistakes here and there, and now suddenly you're on the back foot. It really takes the wind out of your sails, and it feels like they're sort of reeling from it a little bit. And I guess next Roche is again going to be that thing that they wait for 30 seconds until it could potentially, well, it will respond. So that's going to be the next spot for the fight. As far as vision is concerned, looks like Radiant a little bit ahead in that regard because of that gem. They have one ward down up on this high ground, scouting out Dooku. Could be a big pickoff, and they're going to try and find it. Stun down, Magnetize as well. They've caught him. Can he actually play his way out of there? Jarek still trying to chase. Mason has shown up. Radiant applying the Magnetize onto them.
This is their gem as well. They really don't want to lose this, or they're going to be playing from behind in the vision game, which is really what enables you to get back if you're OG into this game. And Abed just gonna phase shift to the side as S4 guesses wrong.
Haste!
And now this is where OG should back out because the Wolf is spawning them all the while. Forev should make the blink stun forward. He does.
Watching for it, trying to get it. They pull him back in. Haven't committed Black Hole. Forev back off cooldown in 2 seconds. They have a couple other here. If Forev want to go for it, there's definitely an opportunity. The Chrono's down, but they catch the Black Hole onto 2. Do they have the damage to follow it up? It looks like Puck not quite there as well. He was able to get the silence off from the DP, trying to burst him down now as well. There's not going to be a grave, but they do have the Yules. No-Tail in some trouble. Can they actually run him down, or is the Exorcism going to tear him all to shreds? Turns around with the shield siphon. No-Tail is staying alive. He lands up in the biggest way possible, and now just trying to TP out, but Mason is down. 3 dead for DC. The path is clear for Roshan and maybe more.
And despite that Chronosphere not going their way, Echo Slam not even being expended, it's this Death Prophet. Her ability to just 1v4 that fight right there with Exorcism? Like, what other hero can do that? Oh, that's so brutal for DC. And I mean, OG, they played that fight so well. They just split the entire territory. They weren't able to focus this Death Prophet down. They didn't really have that much left in the gas tank. They used so much to try to kill Fly and Ana in the backline, and they weren't even able to do it. Like, this Void just does not die anymore. With the combination of the Linkage, they don't have enough crowd control. Even with him getting hold, where's the follow-up damage?
Right.
That Chronosphere oddly was some weird zoning one because nobody could get through that.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if the puck ended up getting silenced by the DP or what, but his orb passed right over the black hole. It felt like there was an opportunity there for him to jump on it, but it must have just been either silenced or something else interrupted his ability to jaunt to it. I guess the big question for me is, does Puck, when he gets that level 25 talent going for the GPM, I mean, is that like another sort of point where they're going to be incredibly powerful by virtue of like having Dagon level 5, and then you can actually maybe blow up one of those heroes in the space of a chrono?
I don't think so. I don't know if that changes things nearly as much as like I would have believed, because you've got the 120 GPM talent on this Void, and right now Void's farm means so much more. Right. Like, that's what's going to be able to turn this game. And DC, I mean, they could have foreseeably had like a 20k gold lead. They're going to grip Jerax. They're not really fully committing to this. They're going to cast 2 stuns as the Chrono whiffs again.
Well, he caught the Sand King, but he's not doing any damage to follow it up, and now Forev drops down the black hole, and Mason is here as well. They need to focus this guy down, take down the Aegis. It's at least one gone. So DC back out, trading 2 for 1 there. 1 being the Aegis.
Yeah. And they still managed to kill the Bat Rider at the very least. Ana drops the gem. S4 has one by himself. It's not the best use of the black hole, but getting rid of the early Aegis and not allowing OG to create any sort of tempo off of it is going to be quite big. And now they know that black hole's down. They're going to start marching for this. And we talked about how hard it was for them to kill No-Tail. Now he's got a cheese. He pops his ultimate. There's no black hole down.
Dire's middle tower
and,
has fallen.
You know, you can split push all you want, but eventually you're going to have to deal these people up on top of your cliff. I thought I heard a cheese get used, but that must have been something else.
Radiant's top tower is under
yeah,
attack.
it's still, I mean, it does not feel like, you know, the barracks being down really matters at all in this game anymore. It's just so easy to push out that wave.
No, not really, because you still have to take team fights to try to end the game.
Yeah.
Like, OG have plenty of ways to shove out the waves. They've got so much team fight that it doesn't even feel like they're that worried about anything, as they're going to rotate a lot of heroes down there. Bulba's going to be the one to start it.
Epicenter doesn't get canceled this time. He wants the kill, wants to take down that DP, and indeed, it's going to happen. Now the rest of OG have to back out, but a big pickup there. 75 seconds does have buyback.
Yeah. And imagine if he was able to get cheese off there. Then he just Spirit Siphons his way back. The rest of the team, maybe they make it as DC. Now they start their counter assault. Death Prophet ult down, 40 seconds. He does have to buy back like you talked about, but Death Prophet without his ult is a lot less scary, as there's a Shadow Blade on Ana. He's waiting for the opportunity. They know they don't have the gem. This could be huge, as Forev gets isolated out.
Cold, there it is. He's not going to be able to get it off this time around, and he is going to drop, and they've already committed forward a couple other heroes. Bulba going to drop as well, most likely after this Eul Scepter. Maybe he can play his way out, but with Ana on top of him, it's not going to happen. There was some split pushing going on at the same time, and now trying to catch out Mason. He's just going to be KB and TP back home. So team fight doesn't go the way they want. Surprise Shadow Blade catches him out.
And that's what I mean, that 120 GPM talent, and once he picks it up, he starts getting a little bit more fat. That Shadow Blade pays for itself almost immediately, as gems start to get a little bit more scarce. If you lose another one, I mean, how does the game go? Your supports just have to sacrifice slots to start carrying around sentries. It doesn't feel too good, as Dubu does have the gem.
And they also
just a little bit too far.
Do not have buyback on these heroes. Sand King and Enigma, no buyback, and they are moving down mid. They have Exorcism up and bots on No-Tail if he wants to use it.
Yeah, and he's got an Arcane Rune.
Yeah, this is a little bit scary. I think this, I mean, is this going to be Elena Rax?
This very well potentially could be. They do have Black Hole though when he is up, and Abed right now is trying to go for the split push. This is a DD puck, hits the tower hard. They're going to pop the glyph. And now OG is going to be in a rough decision. Like, do you continue to go for it, or do you start backing up as...
Dire's middle tower.
Caught out by the Yules. There's the Black Hole, though. They've caught it. It's still going to be Exorcism going throughout this. And do they have the rest of the damage to burn it down? No Tail is there.
Need this
He's going to be lifted up. They have to take him down. They are going to be able to. Doesn't get his cheese on Mark. And now Fly also in trouble. He is going to be killed off. Ana also trying to run away. He does have that extended range on the Time Walk, which might be enough to keep him alive. Yeah, I don't think Mason can keep up with him here with ulti down.
Yeah, he's easily going to make his way out.
But also bottom lane. Look at this. Buddy dealing damage to that Rex.
Ana is going to get out though. And I mean, tier 2 for, or tier 3 for tier 3. But at the same time, you lose the Death Prophet and the Dazzle. Not entirely worth it. Although this almost 20k gold lead that DC once had, which was incredibly comfortable, is just completely slipped away from them.
And Will now with 50 seconds left before DP, you know that Exorcism is down.
There's no buyback on him either.
Right.
This is your best opportunity to go for Mega Creeps, honestly. DC's gonna go for it here. They've gotta avoid getting chronoed. Like, they can't survive a multiple hero chrono. If there's a really good chrono, they kill like 2, you end the push, then that's really rough for DC.
Radiant's
and then you're in the similar
under
situation,
attack.
right, where you're just marching up and down each other's base trying to force buybacks.
Right.
Alright, here we go. And it does have this...
Radiant's middle
We're also at the
barracks are
Shadow
under
Blades.
attack.
They have double Shadow Blade initiation. Waiting to step forward.
There's a gem though on this Baron Rider. I was looking for it.
Radiant's
They're
top
gonna spot
tower
S4 in that
has fallen.
corner, and they're just gonna back out.
DP back up. And since it was Arcane Rune and Octarine Core, obviously, Exorcism is actually going to be online again now that he is respawned. Roshan, we are still looking like it could be 2 minutes and 27 seconds before he's even capable of respawning.
He really needs more HP though to be able to survive this, so he can get that cheese off.
Perfect item for that, pick up a heart.
Yeah. But you notice in both fights, like, he barely doesn't get that cheese off. If he does, the fights completely turn around. Because they have to blow so much just to kill him. Maybe after he dropped from the Yule Scepter? I'm not sure what the timing is on that. Because Abed just Dagon 5'd him.
Quickly as I go.
Well, 42 minutes in, 26 to 33. It is all tier 3 towers down currently for OG. None of them still stand. Meanwhile, DC have lost one of their own, so we might see a concerted effort to take down these shrines and stop the ability of DC to fight around that Roche area.
Yeah. And as it stands, DC, they're just resetting the map. They're pushing in all the waves. They're trying to regain themselves, their composure a little bit. Like, this game is still can go either way. I mean, we've been talking about DC a lot, but OG, they're doing a very good job playing aggressively. This Faceless Void, Ana, has especially stepped up his play. Like, despite some of these chronos in the early game, like, he's still 12, 2, and 11. He's still doing a very good job
And one
keeping
is
up in
me.
farm. Like, his item progression, I think, is very good. It's like, the Shadow Blade pickup immediately paid off
Right.
for that bottom defense. Like, if he doesn't have that there, maybe they just get killed, wiped, game ends.
Oba came out of his little hole at the wrong time, and now Burrow Strike trying to get away. Yule Scepter lift up, Ana pulls him down, and
Oh,
it's a
they're
pick off.
easily gonna kill him. You need kills like that to get back in. As this 10k gold lead, of course, inflated by the fact that Puck has this insane GPM talent. So it's going to make things a little bit more tricky than it seems. But this Void almost has a butterfly on top of everything he's already has. We talked about the difficulty in killing him. It doesn't get any easier.
Trying to look at this, they have a couple of different of these GPM talents. I feel like the 15% cooldown reduction is almost a GPM talent since Enigma had the
Midas.
Midas for so long. He actually looks like he sold it at some point as well.
Oh, mistakes. You never want to sell that thing.
S4 walking up high ground. Dubu scouts him out with the gem, going to Firefly, jump away, and we'll see if his Blink Dagger gets canceled. He's dodging away from that. OG can't find an opening.
Yeah, that's a correct move. You don't overextend
Dire's
for just a
bottom
Bat Rider
tower
anymore.
is under attack.
It feels like this game is just like handing just right on the edge of a knife, where granted it has been a pretty significant lead for DC for a long
Dire's
period of
bottom
time,
shrine
but
is
OG
under
are
attack.
certainly in a great position to just like run down mid if they win a big team fight.
No, for sure. And that's what we talked about is even when it was like 14k
Dyer's
gold lead,
bottom
it did
shrine
feel like
has
OG
fallen.
was starting to kind of make the moves necessary to come back into this game. Because DC has difficulty going high ground against a lot of these heroes.
Dyer's bottom tower is under
If you
attack.
just go high ground without a care against an Earthshaker, you're going to get Echo Slammed, Chronoed, Death Prophet gets free reign, then the fight becomes really complicated. Because this Lycan isn't tanky enough, and you don't have save for him. If somebody gets Chronoed, they're Chronoed. You're just stuck watching from the outside in.
Yeah. Best thing you could do is like Flame Break to push back Void or something. And
Yeah.
Dyer's
just
bottom tower
But
is
if you
under
look at
attack.
OG's team, even if somebody gets Bat Rider lassoed, you've got Fly with the Grave, so it considerably changes the dynamic. Plus, this Dazzle somehow
Dyer's
has a
bottom
Linken's.
tower is under attack.
oh my goodness, what a guy!
I mean,
Fly has
he
never
had-
had so much farm.
He had to have just been getting gold, but
Dyer's
still,
bottom tower
there's
has
something
fallen.
weird about that.
Yeah, for sure.
It just
Uh-oh.
looks odd.
Big play could have came there. It's DC sort of all grouped up together to make a move. The top or bottom tier 2 rather tower fell down in the meantime by virtue of the Ana illusions, but it looks like they're going to back out again. The other thing is AC done for the Lycan, so another way to help mitigate that damage coming in from a DP ulti.
Still, I don't. You get Chronoed, still die.
Well, the illusion certainly died.
Okay, so they're going to see that Chrono and think to themselves, like, guys, go for
Yeah,
something.
they're going immediately. This is S4 in a hell of a lot of trouble. My God, the damage is real with that Dagon. And, well, DC, go take Roshan. It's time to end the game, baby.
I don't know if that's going to be enough to enable that.
Okay.
Maybe you can siege a little bit, because you know that Chrono's down, and you can at least force the S4 buyback. Probably the bigger thing is the Chrono down. They're going to read that situation, say, Chrono's down, let's go for something. Doesn't look like OG just want to give this up for free, though. No tail. Gonna just march right in.
All right, Earthshaker buyback. There's the epicenter already at the start. It's down. Black Hole is there. There is a grave to try and keep him alive at the moment. The Eul Scepter able to lift him up to keep him alive. Now, in the meantime, off to the side, they already take down the Dazzle, able to roll away as Jarek's keeping himself alive. But another big Burrow Strike comes forward. But S4 with the Echo Slam turned it in a big old way. It takes down both the Lycan and the Bat Rider. If they can somehow manage to get out with the rest of these heroes, OG with a huge comeback, making these plays, and it might end up being more because there's no buyback on the Lycan or the Bat Rider. Oh my God, and the Eul Scepter lift up, Puck in trouble as well. Abed is going to fall most likely. They pull him down, they take him down. OG Dota.
Dyer's bottom
Don't
tower
even need
is
the
under
Chronosphere.
attack.
All it takes is for this Death Prophet. I think he popped the cheese. That's what it had to have been. He pops the cheese at the last second, immediately gets to full HP, and DC's like, oh, this isn't what we had planned.
And now Roshan for them as well.
Roshan has fallen
Huge
to the
moments.
Yeah, No Tail's been such a beast for them in this game so far. He's got the plus 600 HP talents as well, that level 25, very fortuitous for him. And again, just gets graved during that black hole, uses himself as soon as he drops down to the ground, immediately pops that cheese, turns that fight around for his team. I feel like they should all just be going down right now for this. And it goes back for that DD rune, but you've got a while before anybody's alive.
I mean, it was also S4 buying back, and
Dyer's
he
middle
hit a
barracks
pretty
are
big
under
Echo
attack.
Slam there to
Dyer's
all those stuff, but
fortified.
hitting the tower now, or barracks rather. Obviously, if you're DC, you don't want to buy back. Do you think you have to if you're Puck?
Dyer's middle barracks
This
is fallen.
probably isn't worth
Dyer's
it,
bottom
because you're not
tower
going to get Mega
is
Creep
fallen.
no matter what.
Dyer's
You're
bottom
only going to
tower
get 2 sets of Rex right here.
Dyer's
Forward, they
bottom barracks are
pop the
under
Linkens there onto Ana, pull him back in now, in some trouble. Jarex gets the lift up. There's no going to be a black hole, at least for the moment, but they can come back in now. BKB is available. Not wanting to drop it yet. No Tail's doing a ton of damage to Dubu, and Ana's just able to jump back out again. So they're gonna lose Dubu.
is
A
fallen.
Burrow Strike again through from Bulma. The black hole's down, but it doesn't catch No Tail. They're going to be able to keep alive Ana. He time locks off a ton of the damage. DC crumbling at this late stage of the game. They buy back on the Bat Rider. They gotta pull No Tail back into the base, but everybody's buying back 4 from DC. Can they get anything from this? They have to take down No Tail. It's too big of an expense not to find this kill, and the Spirits come back in. It doesn't look like it's gonna matter. He is still eventually going to be dropped, most likely. Jarek's there as well. Well, actually ends up craving and
Oh,
cheesing.
no.
He comes back to full HP again.
You're
The
telling-
epicenter is there, but Jerix isn't going down either.
Nobody is dying in this fight. Jerix might finally go down. Fissure comes in a little bit too late as they don't even get fly here. He just TPs out. No-Tail casually just walked away. Doesn't have any care in the world.
What has happened?
They just can't kill this Death Prophet anymore. DC had such a considerable lead in this game. I mean, this graph looks insane.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
20,000 net worth roughly exchanged over the past maybe couple of minutes. They're gonna again try and go into No-Tail. He is so tanky right now. Get the Hex on him, the chase, it's still coming. Spirit Siphon, a ridiculous amount of heal. In the meantime, Mason goes down by virtue of Ana. They managed to find the grave yet again. S4 there trying to turn it
You
back
gotta kill him
around.
this time at least.
They don't have the black hole for another 18 seconds, but they will kill off No-Tail.
Jerix is gonna buy back.
Ana
Now,
though, look at
boy.
him. Gets the BKB off, but to no avail. They're also gonna run down the Sand King yet again. Saves one more rock, gets the stun, another one down, no buyback. Lycan or Sand King.
That might just be
OG.
the game. I think OG is just going to march down for this. They don't really care about getting Mega Creeps and they can just end the game. They know that so many buybacks have been expended on the side of DC. This Bat Rider alone can't really do much. They're going to start marching down. I think Death Prophet, once they get closer to the base, just buys back 2, and they just go for the game.
Well, 38-38, but it's been a hell of a swing back into the favor of OG. 52 minutes in, and like you said, they just never had an answer. Well, they did at various points have answers for the DP, but
Dire's top tower.
not when it
is
came
under
down to the end of the game.
Yeah, Forev is going to buy back. Still 2 heroes without buyback. It looks like No-Tail doesn't, in fact, want to commit that buyback. Doesn't want to go for any sort of crazy throws. OG just making their way long ways around is Ana going to snipe off. Nope. Doesn't quite commit for that either.
I'll send an illusion in, I'm sure.
Yeah. Is there any hero with buyback on the side of DC anymore? That is...
No.
Dire's top shrine is under
So
attack.
any sort of lost fight, like any heroes lost at all, if OG have the numbers advantage, they just march down.
Dire's top shrine has fallen.
Well, if there was ever a time and a place for a big black hole, it's now for DC, or at least, you know, once everybody gets back up and online. It's certainly in the realm of possibility. But what are those steps that you need to take now for DC? Is it just only like hope for a big misplay? Do you even have to like give up mega creeps to make sure?
So the biggest thing is they are getting black holes off, but they just get graved.
Right.
Like this Faceless Void gets black holed and then he gets graved and then he just time walks his full HP and so much for that black hole. Same with No-Tail. Like, he just heals so much from this Octarine Core Spirit Siphon. But you've got to do something. Can't just give up
Dire's
Mega
top
Creeps.
tower is
DC,
under attack.
I'm not sure. They're gonna have to have a multiple man black hole. So far they've had like 3
Dire's
max.
top tower has
Somehow
fallen.
Forev needs to get 4 and hope that Fly's not included in that.
Oh, Ana is just too big, and Sand King's going to get caught. They have the black hole into 2, keeping Bobo alive at the moment, but he is eventually going to be brought
Where's the
down.
damage?
Nonetheless, No-Tail taking a good bit of it, but the Yule Scepter is going to lift him up, and he is going to actually eventually fall. They kill off No-Tail. Okay, 100 seconds with no Death Prophet. S4 now also going to start to get ran down. Ana is trying to make his way out of there, but with the orb going forward, they thought about chasing, but hold off for the moment, showing a little bit of patience.
Yeah. And they don't have this Enigma black hole for 76 seconds. There's no Lycan ultimate either, although that should be refreshing pretty soon. But Jerix is going to roll really aggressively forward, goes for the kick. Stone forms that Lycan out of his base.
Oh, Mason, nowhere left to go. He doesn't have BKB for another 8 seconds either, and unfortunately, Black Hole on cooldown. No way to save Mason. Echo Slam, turn around. S4 knows how to finish off these games, and GG is going to get called as OG pull it back from the clutches of defeat and take down DC after being down almost 20,000 net worth, certainly 15,000.
OG is so resilient. That is absurd that they won this game. They are